I started with chapter 4 and went into the chapter section on reporting suspected child abuse and neglect in the home. As educators and administrators, we are mandated reporters. It is everyone's responsibility to protect children by reporting suspected neglect or child abuse. When you report your concerns, that is the first step to providing that family with help. My cause for wanting to dive deeper into some background in Kansas is due to a recent issue we had in our school district last year with a teacher having concerns but not knowing the proper steps to reporting in a timely manner. And I think other educators sometimes deal with the lack of ability to get online or to make that phone call during a day, but how crucial it can be. And I'll get into that further down. Some facts I found: every child deserves a safe and nurturing childhood. More than 800,000 children are confirmed as victims of abuse or child neglect each year in the United States. Neglect is the most common form, which is what we see a lot in our school setting. Also, maltreatment and physical abuse. The ages from birth to 6 are the most vulnerable to abuse. Some other facts about the United States: there are 10 million children who are exposed to domestic violence. There are nearly 3 million reports of children abuse and neglect made. Every day in the United States, there are 4 children that die as a result of child abuse and neglect, and over 3/4 of these children are under the age of 4. Some tasks to bring to your staff for awareness would be the Pinwheels for Prevention Foundation. Every year they have a time that they have their awareness and their campaign, and our school's one that does participate in that. It has distributed over 2.3 million pinwheels since it has taken nationwide in 2008 and is embraced by chapters in more than 40 different states. So they're growing each and every year. When a report of abuse or neglect is made, there's steps that the agency will take after the mandated reporter has done their steps. First, they do an assessment, and they are the ones to do the investigation. And we always have to remind our staff that we are just the reporters, not the investigators. They determine if SRS comes out, if there's criteria that meets their requirements, and then from there, either a special investigator or social worker will step in. Law enforcement may also need to be brought into the case if needed, and protective services may also be provided in non-abuse or neglect situations. Sometimes if there is not proper care, control, truancy, or runaways. How to report. In the state of Kansas, there's a 1-800 number, and it's available 24 hours, 7 days a week. If it is an emergency or time-sensitive situation, you are recommended to call 911. There's also an online form through the SRS website that you can go to and access to do reporting as well. However, it does time out after a certain time, so you need to make sure that you have your material ready, and it is recommended to previously type it in a Word document and transfer it over to the report for time's sake. In the news this past year, we had a teacher who had some difficulties in a case that she reported, and I'm going to click on that link now. Looks like it won't let me. What had happened is the teacher had some concerns and went to her social worker and principal, but ended up having an appointment the next school day. I believe went online to try to report it and was not able to. The site goes into it even further, but what ended up happening is she was without a job. She was reinstated after some more investigation was done, but it just shows you how sensitive this issue can be and how important it is for staff to know how to go about making reports, and also for the sake of staff members, it's scary knowing that it's easy to lose your job if you do not go through the proper protocol to get this completed. Why is mandating important? This clip pointed out many of the points we've already been discussing. This is from another state, but as far as this state, there's a lot of the same procedures and protocols. And the biggest point I think to point out is we are just the reporters, not the investigators. That is where they will step in and do that part. Some sites I used are attached. I hope you found this very useful and something that you could also bring back to your staff. It is something that our staff has been looking at year after year, and with the technology changes and other changes in these matters, it's something that we need to keep current and brought up at the beginning of in-services in the school year to remind us what we can do if this does happen to occur in our building. Thank you.